Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. Today we're looking at eco-healthy childcare with lead in tap water. Now there's some FAQs we need to answer because some people might think that if they have an older house that they're at risk for lead, which is true, but if they have a newer one, they might not be. So, is that true? We're going to find out. So the big question is, do I still need to test my water if I have all new pipes and potentially a new house or property? Do I still need to test my water if I'm in a brand new building? And the answer is 100% yes. Lead can still be present in new pipes and fittings. Lead-free brass plumbing parts for drinking water lines can contain up to 8% lead. And as you know, if you've been watching this channel for quite a while, or even if you're new, there's no safe amount of lead. It is the most dangerous heavy metal out there, by weight. And in one new building, 2 shut-off valves leached toxic amounts of lead into the building's drinking fountains. The valves were found to be 6.5% lead. The most common problem is with brass or chrome-plated brass faucets and fixtures, and these can also leach high amounts of lead into the water, especially hot water. And even according to the EPA document, lead-contaminated drinking water is most often a problem in houses that are either very old or very new. So when you're asking about old buildings, well, it can actually be both. It can be very old, like maybe turn of the 19th century, or it can be very, very new houses that were built within a few years ago or even a decade ago. And scientific data can indicate the nearer the home, the greater risk of lead contamination. Lead levels decrease as a building ages. This is because as time passes, mineral deposits from coating on the inside of the pipes if the water is not corrosive. This coating insulates the water from the solder, but during the first 5 years before the coating forms, the water is in direct contact with lead, and more than likely than not, water in buildings less than 5 years old has high levels of lead contamination. So, some examples of potential sources of lead in drinking water are lead in pipes and plumbing, dull gray in color, and will appear shiny when scratched. They were banned in 1986 and not widely used since the 30s. Copper pipes joined by lead solder. Also, brass pipes, faucets, fitting, and valves may contain alloys of lead. Sediments in screens or faucets, debris from plumbing can collect on the screens and may contain lead. Water service lines to facilitate is made of lead, and pipes that carry water from the municipal water system main to the facility may contain lead. There's also water fountains in the facility that contain lead parts, and specific brands of water fountains contain lead parts or have leaked lines, water tanks, and since 1988, it's been mandated that water fountains will be lead-free, but other older facilities might still have outdated models. And if your water comes from a private well, it's not been tested for lead, could be there. So the good idea is then to have your water periodically tested. Because as you can see, whether it's an old building, new building, it could still potentially have lead contamination. And as I said, either very new buildings or very old buildings are the highest for risk. That being said, wherever home or wherever you live, it's always a good idea to have your water periodically tested for any